past me.
You know, it's always said that Africans have rhythm, and that comes through song, through dance, and no matter what the person is like, the size or whatever, no matter what, they have so much rhythm and so much enthusiasm, and it comes through in song and dance. And it's something that's very special and unique to Africa.
Well, I don't think that there's much more exciting for a gentleman that works in a yard than the leisure time that he spends, whether it's at RANDJIES or the Vaal or TURFFONTEIN or wherever it is, to play his beloved soccer.
Andrew, you know, soccer is the most followed sport in South Africa. And people come from all walks of life and just love the football aspect and playing the game and watching the game. If they can't be part of playing, they then watch it and support with passion, and it's in the blood. Like horse racing is in our blood, and some people's soccer is in the blood of our African nation.
Well, I don't suppose many people will understand it more than you, coming from a deeply steeped soccer background.
Andrew, I was privileged to play at all forms and levels of football, and played at a professional level, and going through the times where South Africa was changing, and played in Alexander, played in Davidton, played at the Rand Stadium, played at all these places that now everybody's aware of because of World Cup and that. But that's where the roots were. You know, the roots was playing football, and it started with transformation in soccer, where we pre-94, we were already playing in, I played it for Blue Bells, and I played for Benoni Quickot and Rangers, and I've had a checkered career in football, but from a professional footballer, I've loved every minute of it.
And so therefore, it becomes apparent that soccer is completely colourless, even in the days prior to the release of Madiba.
Andrew, to me it was, because at the age of 19 I was playing in Swaziland. I was the only white player playing in Swaziland, because it didn't matter to me where the game was. I played, and who I was playing against. It was almost like a religion. Soccer we played, and there was no colour bar or barriers as far as I was concerned. So when you say before Madiba, it started a couple of years before that, because pressure was being put on South Africa to transform and get the leagues amalgamated, and you know, that's when it really started. And I coached under 19 teams way before 94, which started to bring in the young black players of talent, and for Southern Transvaal, and they played for me at Bedford View. So we started to change things way before then, which was the right thing to do.
Okay, so that's your background, but you've been completely transparent in respect of this particular initiative, which you have accredited to Johan van Eck, his idea. You've been able to take it forward as a result of Johan not being particularly well, and also having the inclination to keep the grooms happy, particularly the guys that don't get to lead the Group 1 winners in.
Andrew, yeah, it started about five years ago, when I was part of the administration and still chairman of the RA. And Johan approached me and said, please, our guys, that's what they live for on weekends. Can you get something going, get their field sorted out, give them a tournament to play and to enjoy it, because you'll see that's their recreation is football. After the working with horses and doing what they do, they just live for football. And he spoke to me one day, and then we decided to incorporate it with a golf day, which happened to fall the Friday before the Emerald Cup every year. And it's taken its time, because we looked at a whole host of things. There was an opportunity to share with somebody where they said there was fields and that, but it always fell down. And then we'd raised a bit of cash, and we were sitting on the cash, and then we approached PHUMELELA to look at the fields, but it wasn't a priority. And then suddenly we put a bit of pressure on, and it's become a priority from a point of we're sitting on a bit of money, but also because of a promise that was made. And it wasn't just about the Vaal. We then decided, well, why not do it locally for all the training centres? I mean, you've got Randjies, you've got Turffontein, and you've got the Vaal. So just to do it for the Vaal, it was a great idea, but we had to take it to the depth that we did, that everybody benefited by it.
Well, there's nothing like the Bush Telegraph, is there?
There's no doubt, Andrew, it gets around there.
Okay, now, you've often heard presenters say a horse is drawn in the Rand Stadium because it's just across the road. And we all know from those good old days that the Rand Stadium is, as you alluded to, like a billiard table. But I'll tell you something, that soccer field that the guys play on at TURFFONTEIN takes a hell of a lot of beating.
Andrew, having played for the teams that I told you that I played for, that Rand Stadium used to be a carpet. And just to play as a youngster at the Rand Stadium was the most amazing experience. But the field that they presented to us on the Sunday of this tournament, it could surpass any amateur field anywhere in the country. I mean, and at the time of the year, where we in sort of the middle of winter, it was unbelievable what they did, and they really sort of went to the trouble of just giving us a field that was unbelievable. The guys themselves felt that there was something special.
Well, they always say in the classics, save the best for last. It's going to take some doing for the other centres, whether it's Randjies or the Vaal, to actually match that.
Andrew, they'll do it because obviously it's the same people, the guys who do the tracks at Turffontein do the tracks at the Vaal. And while they were relaying Turffontein this year, they took up the turf and they replaced that soccer field with the racing turf, and they've looked after it. And they're going to do the same now because it's the next year is going to RANDJIESFONTEIN, the tournament, and the Vaal. They deserve to have pitches that are least playable and not sandballs, which I've played on a few sandballs, and I see the guys play on a bit of sandballs. You've got two pitches at the Vaal, and the one's a sandball and one's almost a sandball. So they have to fix it up.
Interesting now. When you take a look at soccer itself, it was a bitterly cold day, very much like the Saturday preceding it, but once the guys were warmed up, they absolutely felt nothing for the weather. The game was on, the competition was fierce, but played 99% in very good spirits.
I would say 100% in good spirit, Andrew. There was never, there was one incident where obviously it's the final and it's expected. But right from the start to the finish of the games, I mean the games that took place, there was the 3-4 games that took place. The guys played it in a good spirit, and the refereeing was outstanding. We even had we talk about a linesman. We always talk about linesmen, and there was a lady on the line, and she dominated and that line like a professional. These refs came prepared. They would change their kit when the team had the different kit. They had it all. It was all well organized. But the spirit in which it played. I mean, to give you an idea, I felt underdressed when I saw the manager of Randjies, who happens to be the chairman of their football association, because they have 6 teams that play there, arrive at the field wearing a sports jacket, a tie and slacks, dressed like he was going to an occasion, which it deserved. I mean, I was very impressed when I saw that, and they were so well organized, all of them. From the Vaal, the guys at the Vaal were organized, the guys at Turffontein were organized, the handlers. Everybody knew, and they've done this before. There was no dilly-dallying, and everybody, they took it serious, but loved it.
Well, it just augurs so well for the future, because this is the kind of thing that really motivates people to be healthy, to be fit, to be competitive, because that's exactly what the sport of thoroughbred horse racing is all about.
Andrew, it is about that. We also, what I must say is, to the people that have contributed, what they gave to these guys, they all got, the 15 players got a set of kit, 15 players got boots, they got match balls, they got nets, they got whatever was needed for any club it's an amateur club that of long standing, or any professional club. They got all. They got the drinks. They had for the guys that sat on the bench with first aid. We had a first aid person there. Everything was done as it should be. And having run tournaments and been involved, they deserved to get what they got. And it's only thanks to the people that put the money in, and of course thanks to PHUMELELA and the Racing Association. That's really who the people you can thank, because if you don't have the money, it's not as easy as it sounds. But also just to say that they also played besides for gold medals and silver medals and a beautiful new trophy that's been put on the table, they played for prize money. And I mean, there's nothing that incentivizes anybody. It's a human nature when there's money on the table. And I learned afterwards that Randjies who won it, they were the most organized and really deserved to win it. But then I heard from them that Mike had put a bonus on if Randjies won it. So there you go, you know, so it was fantastic. The spirit and everything was great.
But it must be such a heartwarming feeling to